Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
Come? Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Dave, our camera went silly. But everyone can listen to the wonderful music in the mall.
I'm dancing, you just can't see.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this momentarily audio-only podcast. We'll get there. Did I accidentally unplug it when I, Nope, that's plugged in. That's in tight. Does that need to be plugged in? Does this end need to be plugged in here?
More likely than not.
Okay.
You plugged it into a bundle of cables that wasn't plugged in.
Okay, hold on. Is there just really the one USB port there? No, come on. It would probably have to restart OBS anyway, but what the? Why is that not fitting? That's what she said. Ah, there we go. All right, it's in. But we may need to restart OBS anyway. There's cables everywhere. Pardon our dust because of the move, and thank you for your patience. We'll be with you momentarily.
Motor butt now.
Oh my gosh, yay! Oh, wait, that camera. Hi! Sorry, I went and shook at the wrong camera. Hi, everybody! Are we just gonna do it like this?
Alright, there
Hey!
we go! So, just for consistency's sake.
Yep. Dave, do we tell them for the last 3 months we haven't actually been watching Dan go? Anyway, Dave!
Yes, motor!
Last week we talked a fair amount about some of these get out the vote kind of things, and last minute, but I actually heard of one that was put together by a soda company and headed up by REM in order to get rid of the current incumbent. It's called Orange Crush. Not my pun, actually. That is not true, but Orange Crush is the name of an initiative for Republicans against Trump working in Florida. That is actually a thing, so.
I'll never drink that drink without thinking about that pun again, and I will smile every single time.
Wow, that's a lot to catch up on there. Is this a reveal? No, that would have been really amazing if it was a reveal. to cut to blank and then just guess what?
I mean, to be totally honest, though, now that someone has put that into the universe, we're not going to tell you when we move to the new set. We're just going to
It's just
spring
going to
it on
happen. Yeah, it's just going to happen. Is this my state of mind? In my brain? Twerking at the wrong camera is a mood. Wow.
Unfortunately, by the way, folks, we are once again entering into a dangerous territory in regards to the move, Butter, because do you know who we're relying upon for the move?
David, are we relying on Spectrum?
We are. We're going to be putting it into Spectrum's hands to let us know when they can move our massive MF and internet package from over here to over there so that they can then claim, there was a cable outage 14 miles from the mall, and that's why we didn't turn on the right things. But, it'll be really interesting, it'll be fun, and it'll probably happen during Sundave. But everyone who watches that knows about those experiences.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Manny. Thank you. First off, thank you. I think this is your first time popping into Nerd Glasses. I'm super honored that you've decided to drop by. And I'm so sorry that your first experience was a blank screen and then my ass.
Well, he got used to it because we were playing Overwatch on Sundave, and then it progressively just started to shit the bed and just got worse and worse to the point where the game couldn't be seen, then I couldn't be heard. Then suddenly Amp Slayer couldn't be heard, and so it was all done. It was time to turn it off.
And I do want to apologize to Anticlaus Prime. I don't know if he's in right now, but last week he was thrown off because we were a week late in coming back from daylight saving time. So he showed up at the right local time, but the time difference was different. We're back on right now, so if he's able to pop in from Germany, then...
But wait a minute, Boater. You said that he came at the wrong time, but what program did he tune in for?
Well, since he came in an hour late for Nerd Glasses, he actually came in right on time for the Citadel.
Yeah!
Where I debuted Assassin's Creed, which went really well. We had a couple extra people just kind of randomly dropping in. It was a
Hell
really
yeah.
fun time. Tonight is going to be back to Mad Max, A Possible Future. Hooray! I'm not going to be riddled with anxiety tonight at all.
The good news is, Boater, we have got so much gaming news that will keep your mind off of the fact that, let me just ask, did you vote?
I did. I voted a month and a
also
half ago
voted.
by mail.
Everyone in chat, if you voted, let us know, and if you didn't vote, go now! The polls are still probably open somewhere.
As long as you're in line, they can't kick you out. You get to get your count, your count voted, your vote counted.
Just make sure you're not wearing any political affiliated shirts one way or the other, because they can ask you to leave the line to change your attire.
Yes.
Just in the case of if you're going to be holding the polling station open till after hours, don't give them a reason to kick you out. But,
or any clothes at all. Actually, a friend of mine said that he voted by mail specifically so he could cast a vote naked. So, obviously a little late to do that now.
If you live in Florida, you can vote in the nude. If they're going to court without shirts on...
no political propaganda or clothing allowed. How do we diagram that sentence more like rigor mortis? Is that no political propaganda or clothing, or is that no political propaganda or clothing?
Are you voting in a nudist colony? It's answer B. I always enjoy our tangents. However, Boater, we have
a lot to talk about.
A lot, which is really funny because both Boater and I were like, wow, light news week, and then it was one of those, oh, God.
Yeah, it's a light news
So-
week, and then, like, I got a couple things. Sure, I found another Twitch ban that I'll bring to us, and we've got more news about Dr. Disrespect, as well as I was about to say another Twitch streamer, but a Twitch streamer coming up on my end.
We've
and on
got-
Dave's end,
We have got EA in court once again. PlayStation not playing nice with third-party developers. League of Legends could be coming to consoles sooner than you think. Netflix is hiking them prices. And in truly Hideo Kojima's dream, a movie studio is going to not only be producing games, publishing games, but developing them as well. That and all of the games that are fit to print in the next next week here on the Nerd Glasses. Shall we dive into it?
I think so. Do you want to get these game releases out of the way early, or do you want to we'll lead into them? Because I know we
Either
normally
or.
lead off. Okay, so I'll lead off really quick just so I can get a word in edgewise in regards to Twitch bans. Something that I'm actually really happy that this has kind of become a segment that we've been able to talk about each week. Because each week someone gets suspended from Twitch. Either it's their fault or Twitch's fault, whatever. First off, following up on Dr. Disrespect, who was banned months ago for being a douchebag. It's been noted that he hasn't gotten a Call of Duty Cold War early access code like other notable Call of Duty streamers.
Swiftor is a Twitch streamer that I admire greatly, and who shouts out me and Insane Games TV when I comment on his streams. By the way, so here's that bump back, Swiftor, even though you're infinitely larger than either of us combined. But great guy, should watch his streams.
Yeah.
He got one.
Nice. Yeah, Dr. Disrespect did not. He blames it on the Twitch ban, clearly, because anything going wrong in his life, he's going to blame on Twitch banning him, even though he got one hell of a platform on YouTube, and has been doing really well there. Twitch wouldn't let me, and he's like, oh, just because they said it, no, I can't. It's like, no, actually, I'm going to guess that if you didn't get a code, it's because of the shit you did that got you banned from Twitch in the first place. Activision is awful, but even they have standards. Yeah. My exact written note was, if Activision doesn't want you representing them, do some soul searching, man.
Demon Dragon. The lack of code is not because he's a giant douche. And by the way, if you are watching and you are a fan of Dr. Disrespect, the streaming character, enjoy what you enjoy.
That's fine.
Just know that
We don't care for his kind here, and we're wanted in 4 different systems.
That sentence in 12, but you know, everybody to each their own. And just a really quick ban, and then Dave, I will pass the talking stick back to you. October 27th, for some reason, I find out about a ban that happened more or less during the previous episode. October 27th, Dragon Force guitarist Herman Lee was suspended.
Oh God.
Of course, Twitch doesn't give a reason for their bans, yada yada yada. The suspected reason is that it was because of DMCA strikes against him for playing his own fucking music.
Mm-hmm.
He's been really supportive of streamer musicians. He's like, play my music, please play it on stream. He supports smaller creators. It's a way to be like, hey, no fear of DMCA takedowns, but Twitch has been wielding their hammer really hard as far as deleting old clips, and I don't know for sure that they've been banning people because of DMCA violations as well, but it wouldn't surprise me. And also, screw you, record label, for that as well. Like, when an artist gets hit for DMCA because of something the record label did, which, by the way, he is back now. Don't know if it was just a temporary ban or just they got it reversed. When an artist gets screwed by something the record label does that looks really greedy, let's have some more of that, because that'll get this shit shut down real fast. YouTube has a real problem with DMCA stuff, and it really makes me nervous to see Twitch go down this same path, and I hope that it gets nipped in the bud before it gets too bad.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. That's what I've got for Twitch ban news and follow-ups. I'll pass that back your way.
So,
I want to have a physical ban hammer that we use as a talking stick and just pass back and forth.
for those of you not aware, by the next time we all meet together after this episode, for the Nerd Glasses, one of the 2 next-gen giants will be upon us. And so, part of the game release radar is literally just going to be me reading off all the cool games you could have and be holding and be playing while you are still here for Nerd Glasses next week. So, I will start with the games that are not necessarily exclusively coming out for the PlayStation, the Xbox Series X, excuse me.
Okay, so Xbox Series X comes out next Tuesday. We'll get to the launch titles in a minute, but first, everything else coming out in the next 7 days.
So, this game, I'm just going to read it out loud because when I mispronounce things, it makes Boder's veins bulgy in his forehead. This one is a originally 2008 released game on the PlayStation 3 and 2007 for Microsoft Windows. A 2D shoot-'em-up game with parallax shooting, 720p, the usual display of itself in that era. But this one, and Anticlaus Prime could definitely correct me on the pronunciation of this, is Sodnia X Himmelstürmer.
Okay.
It's coming out digitally for the PlayStation 4, and for you folks wanting to play it, we'll be able to have a definitive edition that has all of the fixes and all of the content that was released during that game's era and its evolution into a multiplayer as well as single-player experience.
I don't see that lighting stuff on fire, but for people that are that have enjoyed the game, a remaster like that's all-inclusive, really good for that community.
Yes. 2D shooters rejoice. It's not a crap game. Speaking of games that people, niche or markets will enjoy, Dirt 5, a popular franchise, is coming, ironically enough, in 3 days to Windows, PS4, and Xbox One. On the 10th, it's coming out to the Series X, and the 12th, it's coming out to the PlayStation 5. Google Stadia is getting it in 2021.
Good for you, Stadia.
Dirt 5 is a
We're
continuation
pulling for you.
of the very popular predominantly off-roading driving franchise.
Have you played a dirt game before?
I have a little bit, because I was very interested by the fact that I originally thought, looking at it, I was like, oh, so MX vs. ATV added rally cars. I was like, that's really cool. And then I played it and really enjoyed the physics in it and the mechanics and just the branding that doesn't normally get video game treatment that was there.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Dirt, but it's done by, I think, the same studio, if not at least the same publisher as Grid, which I played the first one of and loved it and come back to every now and then. It's an arcadey engine, but it still works well once you're into it.
Yeah.
A lot of personalization. It's fun. It's a good series. It's cool to see that still going strong.
I'm very excited for this game. It is going to be, including in all the usual fanfare and things that are going on, so more recent cars are going to be added to it.
Yep.
In the rally franchises.
Oh no, it's a roster update.
Ironically enough, the big feature is it has a narrative-focused career that pits a player character against rival driver voiced by Nolan North.
When I was playing Assassin's Creed last week on the Citadel, we were talking about what a good 10 years Nolan North had from that roughly like 2003 to 2013. Cool, he's still doing
When
good
I
job.
spotted that, I was like so excited. I was like, oh my god, he's coming up 2 weeks in a row. The game will also feature the vocal talents of Troy Baker,
Sounds
who
familiar.
was Higgs in Death Stranding,
Okay.
Magni in God of War, the 2018 version. He was also Batman in the Telltale series.
Nice.
And he played Revolver Ocelot in the modern games.
Okay.
And a couple other characters but like Troy Baker, also very famous
Yeah.
and good that
Yeah.
a racing game is getting such talents
Yeah,
in their
because
midst.
like I like the campaign of Grid, but it's not really story focused. It's just a really neat progression kind of thing.
Drive really fast over there.
The
Drive
last-
really fast over here.
The last racing game I had with a really story focus was the 2005 Need for Speed Most Wanted, which had the green screened people in the game thing. But it was a thing. It happened. So that's cool to see.
I'll forever miss the people that would always do just the one motion over and over in the audience as you drive past 18 copies of them. If you're a fan of racing games, you'll also be very excited that on the 6th, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered is racing into Windows, PS4, and Xbox One, and
Nice.
for the Nintendo Switch on the 13th.
Very cool.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit was the one that emphasized the cops and robbers mechanics
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
And you actually got to play as the cops, I think, which was
Yes.
first.
So it's a game that has a lot of lineage. It has a lot of rubber on the tires, as it is said, and is a very good game. If you're interested, check it out. If you're not interested in racing games, this will not sell you on it. A game that I'm really excited about and will be going out to get my hands on a copy of next Tuesday. 13. Did you ever hear about that game?
Yes.
Yes. It is getting a remaster,
Yes.
and it will be coming out for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on the
Dave,
10th.
this makes me so happy. The last time that I went to play that I had forgotten that it is a manual save all the friggin' time, and I lost like half an hour of progress one time, and I was like done with it. I love that game. I definitely finished it a couple times. Oh, I love it. I
So-
might do that. I might have to get that and do that on Boater Play Something.
So for those of you who are unaware of what 13 is, it is essentially what a John Wick movie would have been if John Wick was made 20 years ago.
Yeah, and what's his name for the actor? David Duchovny? As the...
I don't think so.
I think so.
We might be thinking of the same game then.
We might not be thinking of the same game. I'm thinking the cel-shaded one that came out originally on Xbox.
And it was comic book
Yeah,
espionage.
yeah.
No, I've never read anything about David Duchovny. However, it would be a very interesting little tidbit for it So 13 is a comic book style first-person shooter where...
Yeah,
For example-
David Duchovny voiced the protagonist.
Oh, he voiced it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I... What did you think I meant?
You said he modeled it.
No, I didn't.
So,
Okay.
regardless, the main character it's all espionage and a lot of fun. And what they do is, instead of getting caught up on game engines and things to get all these mechanics through, they do, when you fire a weapon at someone, comic book panels pop up of, like, the expression rat-a-tat-tat, or when you're shooting at it,
Yeah.
it does a zoom in of the bullet, and then
So, like,
a
looking
reaction.
back at it, it is a somewhat slow-moving engine. Not as slow as, like, if you watch gameplay of GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But it's no Halo, say. Like, it is a little ponderous, and I'm interested to see how much of that is kept in the remaster. It had a great visual look. It was one of the earlier games that leaned into the cel-shaded style, and then they leaned in even harder because not just in the cutscenes, but during actual gameplay, they would do the comic book panel pop-out stuff. It was great.
And the last game individually that I will point out, because it is coming out for all of the consoles, is one that I know that Boater is greatly anticipating, and many of you will be very excited for. On November 10th, for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Stadia, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X and S, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will finally
Nice.
make way into our game systems.
Nice.
Then the PlayStation 5, it'll be hitting on November 12th.
Yeah, Steph, you didn't realize it, but your pre-order is coming on the Stadia. No, she set up the pre-order for herself that I paid for her birthday. So I've said it a fair amount of times now. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed past 4 in Rogue. I haven't played Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla. If
Yeah.
I play Valhalla, I am going to want to do Origins and Odyssey before it, because they kind of did retconning and new storyline and meh. But they're also games that play really well on their own without really worrying about the bigger Assassin's Creed lore. So I don't know. When she's done with it, I may have a stab. Or 3 years from now, I'll get it on the Xbox system rather than the PlayStation one that she has. That's what I did with the Ezio collection to play Assassin's Creed 2. I'll just get it on Xbox.
So, the big release for the Xbox Series X, if you buy that console, be on the lookout for these games, which will be released same day as the system.
Launch titles!
And they are Ark Survival Evolved, Borderlands 3, Dead by Daylight, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Dirt 5, Enlisted, Evergate, The Falconer, Fortnite, Forza Horizon 4, Fuser is not coming out to the Series X. It is coming out for the Xbox One, though. Gears of War 5, Gears Tactics, Manifold Garden, Maneater, NBA 2K21, No Man's Sky, Observer System Redux, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Planet Coaster Console Edition, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Sea of Thieves, Tetris Effect Connected, Warhammer Chaos Bane, Watch Dogs Legion, and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
First off, I want to point out that at least half of those are games that are already out. They're just getting re-released.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are.
Sorry. Was it Falconer? I have no idea what that is, but that sounds like a $20 game that's thrown in as a tech demo of look how cool. Because you know there's always games like that. Do you remember Rise that was an early Xbox One game?
Yes.
That was fine, but it was mostly like, look how pretty it is. Look how well it runs. It ended up being kind of a tech demo for the Xbox One. And I know nothing about Falconer, but just the title makes me think that that's what it is for the Xbox Series X.
Open world air combat game featuring frenetic aerial dogfights and deep exploration of a mysterious open world of the Great Ursea, November 10th, 2020.
Okay, well, it said open world twice within the same sentence in that description, so I don't hold much hope. It's open world! And guys, in case you missed it, it's open world! Okay.
I am excited for this one just because it is not a big publisher, but you're not wrong, Boater. It does sound an awful lot like a lot of gimmicks and not a lot of games.
Yeah, so there's like maybe five, six good, like, hey, this is a new game. This is a game that is noteworthy, that coincides with the launch of, or at least one that is within the couple weeks of the launch of the Xbox Series X. The rest, and this isn't new to this generation. This happens a lot. But cool. That's a solid list. And that's even before we get into backwards compatibility. That's a pretty solid launch list. It's got a lot of different
titles
genres in
to be
it.
played and things to do as opposed to.
I mean, hell, Planet
Otherwise.
Coaster, cool. You've got a sim kind of thing in there. Cool. Yeah, it's got good representation across genres. When the PS5 comes out later that week, when's the release date on the PS5?
The 13th.
13th. Okay. So next week we'll be giving you one of these rapid fire lists, but for the PlayStation releases, and that's going to be really cool too. I don't feel like sitting down and comparing which one has a better launch lineup. Just the Xbox Series X launch lineup gets a thumbs up from me. It's not a super excited 2 thumbs up, whatever, but it's good launch lineup, and I expect that we'll see the same out of PS5. Any other games coming out that are worth pointing out?
That is pretty much actually all of the games that are coming
Okay.
out in the next week.
Cool. So if somebody wants to buy me an Xbox Series X and Dirt 5, that'd be awesome.
Amen.
Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Buy me a Stream Deck instead. Anyway, Dave, what else we got?
So, I'll get to the biggest development, which builds off of stories that both you and I have covered over the last couple of months. If not, if you've listened to any social media presence or things. Yes, Boder.
Sorry, for some reason I was like, Dave, can we talk about the Coalition of App Fairness again? I don't know if that's where you were leading, but
No.
I just started laughing because I remembered it existed.
But since you brought it up, Boder, actually, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce that a new member has joined the Coalition for App Fairness.
A new signatory.
A new member of the groups that would stand up against the tyranny of Apple.
Stand up for your freedom to price gouge as much as you damn well please. I don't know why it's starting to put on an accent. It's just happening.
And so, I'm glad, Boder, that you're so impassioned by the newest member of the Coalition
I'm
for
getting
App
levity
Fairness
wherever I can.
is a company known solely as Shibisted. I know,
Shibisted.
Boder, you're saying to yourself, especially in the North American market, I know all about Shibisted and its subsidiaries, such as Finn and VG and Aftenbladet and Blocket and
Okay,
Afterpolten,
that's absolutely European, just like the big list that you gave us a week or two ago.
Lendo, Podme, Insurello.
Did you say Padme?
That's like good conversation over there.
Of course, we're doing a podcast.
There you go.
Kickback, Good Ones, Yepster, Omni.
Hold on. Are we listing off hipster beers now?
Let me know if
Oh,
you need any help.
we're listing off brands that are among the conglomerate giant that is Shibisted.
I ended up running across a website that uses, lorem ipsum generators. One called Hipster Ipsum, and it was the best friggin' thing to try to read. And that's what I'm just reminded of as you read all these off.
No offense.
So yeah, that's that joke.
More like rigor mortis. It's not us. Nobody has given us these $69 dollars, aka 30% off of what the. Nobody has offered to sponsor our entry into the Coalition of App Fairness
Yes.
yet. Although I messaged a brand with a joke like, "Hey, you want to sponsor us?" And I think that would be a really funny thing to do for whoever. If anyone sponsors us on the thing, our first thing would be like, "All right, cool. We want to join this."
I want to join the Coalition for App Fairness. I demand it.
It would be the best. I just want to know what BS newsletters they're putting out to members.
Probably not, to be totally honest.
Anyway, Dave, before I derailed with that just reminder that existed, you were actually leading to something. I'm so sorry for continually derailing where you try to go.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite game on PS.
So, Boder and I have both discussed EA as an enterprise and the many court cases that they have been fighting
I got this image
globally and through so many fronts.
Yep.
In the Netherlands Gaming Authority will be allowed to fine Electronic Arts $500,000 every week until it sells every week while it sells loot boxes in FIFA Ultimate Team under the current style.
Wow.
The Netherlands
I like that.
came to a ruling that they were just like everywhere else, it's gambling, and the fact is that they are not allowed to hide under it anymore.
Yeah, it's not a one-time. Hey, you're doing something shady. Pay up. It is. We are hitting you with €500,000 or $500,000 after the currency exchange. $500,000 dinero every week until they stop operating their electronic gambling dens.
It goes into that it's 250,000. Actually, I think that is pounds.
Okay.
The backward C with the two lines in it.
I would say that'd be euro, but it's not a 2-to-1.
Let me search that really quick so we get the. It is the euro, and the euro is a little bit up on the dollar.
Yeah.
For every €1, it's 1.16509
it's
US dollars.
relatively close. So.
So, the EA itself will be fined €250,000,
Okay.
and its Swiss subsidiary, which is responsible for the sale of FIFA in the area, will be charged $250,000
Okay.
a week.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah, that adds up fast. Manny DeSavage, it's a story that's been going on for years. In short, most countries have now been fighting against EA because their loot boxes are considered gambling. You spend real-world money, you are not guaranteed to get something of a certain value. You get random stuff. It's considered gambling. It is addictive, etc. And this is just the latest legal shot going back against that.
And the whole broad stroke of it is that video games aren't governed by the same rules that gambling authorities are, and so because they are not, and yet they have gambling mechanics to a degree that they do, and the amount of dollars that they take in it,
Yeah.
people are starting to take notice.
Yeah, it's saying, hey, they should be covered by this. Last week we talked about Canada starting to come around. So
It'll be very interesting to see. Starting.
Yeah, that's it. Xena right here.
It was
the
ruled
same one I got.
in court as of the 29th, I believe.
Warrior Princess. Yeah.
okay.
So they may or may
I just
not
got,
have
like,
already
these
have
copies
started
of
to
them.
pool up that money to send for this week, and we'll see how long it takes them to either pull support for it from the Netherlands,
Yeah.
in which case then no, we don't have mechanics here.
I used to have it.
Well, I mean, if they just pull the online servers of the game
I still got
from the Netherlands access to the online servers, that is probably the simplest way to do it.
Yeah.
And how much they care about their players will be put to test, because it's like, hey, we can get this fixed in 2 weeks. Do we let you guys still have all the online stuff during that time and eat the €1,000,000? Or nope, we're taking this off right now. That's why I don't play EA games. It's that would be worth discussing at some point. Like I don't like playing Activision games because of their history of buying studios, giving them something that they're not good at, and then shutting them down. EA is better than that about that kind of thing. They're by no far the best big publisher, but they are the lesser of two evils and perhaps the lesser of three. I don't know what's happening in the background, but I heard Warrior Princess in my ears, and Sword perked up. There are expanded hours here in Wilton Mall, and we are actually open at this moment as we're streaming. Although the new space that we've talked about, of course, before, the streaming space will be separate enough from the store that won't necessarily be much of an issue. Oh my god, I'm so excited, guys! I was there. I think it might still be visible if you go to Insane Games TV on Instagram and like look at the story. It's I have a picture. Can I
The
hold it
link
up
to
the
that,
camera?
the link to that is down below in our Twitch profile. Definitely make sure to follow that. Make sure to follow Insane Games on Facebook, and make sure to participate in our social media points.
It's colorful and just looks so cool. Like individual sets that
Those
are back
individual colored walls are incredibly heavy, and Dan and I are thankful that they're almost done having to get moved. So, do you have Netflix? Do
Yep.
you spend less than $20 a month on Netflix? Not so fast. Put your hand down, because Netflix's branding and plans are going to be increasing.
Is it just by $1?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
it is.
whatever.
So it's going to be increasing $1 a month.
This happens every couple years. Netflix keeps making their stuff better.
As all of their streaming platforms, as they
Yeah.
grow more content and do more things.
To be fair, Netflix does it more, but Netflix also started dirt cheap. People get up in arms over an extra $1 a month, and it's like, no, just, whatever. I mean, it does add up when I'm paying for Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and I just started a YouTube Premium subscription because the ads just became too much.
So yeah, Netflix will be increasing their prices.
So what does that
cited
make it now?
It will be standard plans will be $14 a month, and the premium tier will be $18 a month.
Okay. I don't know what the difference is between. I didn't realize Netflix was tiered.
Indeed. I don't really know the difference for Netflix. I don't really use
Yeah.
Netflix because they got rid of all the TV series I watch, because I don't sit down to watch movies. But you know what? Just for giggles, since we've thrown that question out there. What
More like
is the
rigor mortis.
difference?
Stop scaring the new guy. I'm glad I don't have to pay anything. Oh, it's coming for you. Stop it. Yeah, so like Hulu has tiered service where it's like $8 or $12 depending on if it's ad supported or not. And we have ad supported Hulu, and that's fine.
Premium's 4K.
Oh, okay. Premium
Wow.
has access to 4K, whereas their base is up to 2K or just 1080.
That's a good question. I don't know. It just specifies here as HD or 4K Ultra HD. So
Okay.
I guess in the regular streaming, sometimes they just drop it below HD anyways.
I mean, they will if it doesn't support it, but so UHD is kind of like the consumer 4K, Ultra HD. So I'm 12. No way I'm paying for Netflix.
So Netflix has, as of right now, 3 tiers. Basic for $9. You get one screen, one phone or tablet you can put that account on, unlimited movies and TV shows, and watch on your laptop, TV, phone, and tablet on one device.
Okay.
For $13.99, you get 2 screens you can watch at the same time, and 2 phones or tablets you can have downloads on, unlimited movies, TV shows, watch on a laptop, phone, or tablet, and HD available. And for $17.99, so for just an extra $5 before the price increase, 4 different screens you can be watching at the same time, 4 phones and devices you can have downloaded films on, unlimited movies, watching a laptop, TV, phone, or tablet, HD available, and Ultra HD 4K.
Cool.
So, Netflix, get some more interesting stuff, and you may get Dave's money, but until then, I'll just continue to Twitch, because it's free. And I can watch all my UFC fights if you just know where to look. Boxing games. Just go on them. Thousands of streamers all illegally streaming them. Hilarious. Never pay for a Jake Paul fight. Never, ever pay.
Wow.
Speaking of never, ever pay, PlayStation 5, Sony, getting ready for their new console release. They're flexing out their materials. Things are on trucks. Things are already potentially arriving at the back ends of certain stores. But one faceplate company is been
Oh
told
God.
that they are not allowed to make the product that they were advertising.
So for PS5, was it swappable like side plates?
It appeared that they were either the ones that they were making were, yes, swappable side plates that would be either added to the ones that you could purchase, or just skins that would go over top of your side plates.
Okay. Yeah, like like looking at those side plates, they look like something that should be relatively easy removable and swappable. Kind of like the Xbox 360 faceplate. And interesting, was it like Nyko or something that was like, no, you can't do that?
It was a small company called Customize My Plates. But before they were called that, they were called PlayStation5Plates.com. A really, really bad idea.
Yeah.
Because Sony's lawyers are not necessarily the most hound doggish, but when you make it really easy for an intern to find you, you're just asking for a cease and desist letter.
Yeah.
So originally they were contacted by Sony to change
The domain.
the domain name. They
Okay.
said, we don't want you having PlayStation 5 in the domain name of
Yeah.
your company. And so they changed to CustomizeMyPlates.com.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, when you draw the attention of a mammoth company, they then received, received a cease and desist, where Sony threatened legal action if they did continue to release the products they were releasing. To a quote from one of their representatives here on GameSpot, is Sony's lawyers told us that in their opinion, it was their opinion that Sony's intellectual property extended to its faceplates, and that if we continued to sell and distribute them in any country, we would end up in court.
That feels a little more spurious to me. Because I don't see what the difference is between manufacturing replacement faceplates and manufacturing replacement faceplates for the 360.
A licensing fee.
Oh, are you telling me that those places that made third-party faceplates all paid Microsoft a licensing fee?
No, but all of them didn't put Xbox360plates.com as their domain name and draw the attention of the larger companies. Our friends, my friends at Old School who sell all of the controllers here at Insane Games pay a licensing fee to Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, which is why I stand by selling these consoles and controllers, because they have a lot more people than us to answer to if they make boxes of rocks. Pelican, Nyko, Mad Cats.
Lay off Mad Cats. They're doing their best.
They are now. Back in the day, though. That was the controller you would buy for your friend's little brother that would come over and wanted to play Smash.
I had an okay experience getting a Mad Catz controller in my original Xbox back in 01, 02. They definitely dipped in quality in the mid-aughts, but they've been coming back.
So they will be ceasing their actions. They have canceled all their pre-orders, yet their website still up and still offers the products, but they do sell. You know what? We'll throw them a bone, poor guys. That they do sell gaming chairs at discounted rates. They do sell controller skins for the PlayStation 5. Only the PlayStation 5.
I want to be on their side, but they're making it hard.
They also have a universal charging station with headset stand for the... Actually, there's an Xbox controller in that one.
I was gonna say, Dave,
well,
you said
what
universal.
do you know? I'm gonna play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm gonna send that link in chat. If you're so inclined, definitely check them out. I feel bad for them, but that's what you get for making it really obvious that you're doing a thing.
That looks sharp. Those plates and skins and stuff look sharp.
I also suspect that a week ago they may or may not have had other plate designs, I noticed that they went down to a simple color palette.
Yeah.
As
Oh, did they
opposed
have
to-
like Overwatch-looking designs and stuff? Okay.
Yes, they did. They certainly did have other intellectual properties on those plates. So it's one of those.
Okay, so it's one thing if you make an Etsy shop and you're doing it as like fan production, whatever. It's one thing like that. But yeah, you dipped your dick in the big guy's pool, and they're pissed.
Just don't draw their attention, for God's sake! You weren't gonna make enough sales that they would have cared.
Oh boy. Dave, can I share something I've got on my sheet here?
Well, sure.
We a couple weeks ago, I think we mentioned Pokimane, big time streamer on Twitch. She, in the past couple of days, implemented a $5 cap on donations from viewers. Which at first is like, wait, that seems really weird. Isn't that like her income, whatever? No, she has a deal with Twitch that's like, I don't know, $4.6 million. When you donate to if you donate to a small streamer, if you donate $5 to us,
Yeah.
it's really cool. If you donate $100 to us, it blows our mind. It makes our day. It might make our week. If you go onto a huge streamer and donate $5, they're touched that you donated. If you donate $100, they're touched that you donated. And they feel a little weird about it because they don't need the extra 95. And that's her justification here. That just, it feels weird taking that money from people when she's most likely doing better off than they are. It's not something that she's like, everybody should do this. She just said, I'm doing this. Thank you for supporting me. She said this on Twitter. Thank you for supporting me to the point where I consider anything more than that unnecessary. To anyone that was more generous, please instead support growing channels, charities, and treat yourselves. And on stream, she said, I just really want to thank you guys for supporting me when I was in high school, when I was $20,000 in debt in university, to the very, very lucky place where I am today, and where I consider anything more than $5 just unnecessary. And a lot of streamers have been like, yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that. Because it's this thing of, like, I feel weird when I'm watching a streamer that, you know, has a huge deal with sponsors and straight with Twitch and stuff like that, and people are dropping in $50, $100, $500. And sometimes when people do that, there's the expectation of, like, oh, we're friends now, right? No. And it just makes me feel really weird, and, like, I guess it can kind of make the streamer feel weird too. So, she worked with Streamlabs to just set up where there is a $5 cap on donations, donating through Streamlabs.
Where in life does giving a stranger or someone you're moderately affiliated a gift make them instantly your friends? Let's think. Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing,
In video games.
and oh, you have video games. That's right. It doesn't work in real life. People will be very thankful for the gifts you give them if they're smart, but the reality is that friendships aren't based on exchange of stuff.
Yeah. So, most streamers are like, this is a really cool idea. There was one, and I forget his name, it really wasn't worth writing down, that was like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess you can do that. I'm not gonna do that. It's okay, guy. But no, that's like,
That sounds like somebody that knows that their follower base is about to hit like rock bottom annually. And they're like, well, I need all those $40 donations for me to then go.
yeah, it's a really, I like it. And especially I like that, support smaller streamers. You know, if you have $100 to spare, sure, I'll take 5. Thank you. I appreciate that. But there are so many people here. Just go to the game that I'm playing. Look for someone streaming to under 100 people. Give it to them.
Yep.
Give it to 19. Give $5 to 19 of them.
I really enjoy that bigger streamers on Twitch do that.
Yeah.
And do that often. And it's something that does come up. Although Boder and I are very linked to the Twitch circles, So we didn't hear anything about Mixer during Mixer's tenure. Remove hat, look off into distance. But just didn't feel like communities and helping with branding was happening like that.
Yeah.
On a platform that is one-to-one, which is why Twitch and Mixer are the ones that I'm using as an example.
Yeah, and to be fair, this isn't Twitch saying this. This is a streamer that's like, hey, you can do this thing. And it's, it's worth noting that that's Streamlabs kind of thing. And we're not talking buying subs, which is a $5 thing, or cheering. I could see someone like cheering an obscene amount of bits still. But a lot more of that goes to Twitch than if it's done through Streamlabs.
Thank you, Penguin. It's really awesome that Pokimane is continuing to be someone that streamers can look to for an example of how to do. Whereas at the top of the program, we talked about streamers that you could look for an example of. Don't do
not
that.
to do,
Don't,
yeah.
Don't go within 6 miles of that.
Yeah.
I know Hideo Kojima's ears must have been burning.
Yeah.
And it was not because that there's any new news about any of his projects, but I am sniffing the internet as hard as I can to
Okay.
get something. But
We'll have the Death Stranding news eventually.
film studio Annapurna Pictures, which was founded in 2011 and was on production of such hit films as Sausage Party and Detroit, The Ballad of the Bugger Sisters, Vice, Missing Link, Booksmart, Hustlers in 2019. They will be in 2020 releasing Kajillionaire, Lawless, Killing Them Softly, yada yada. So they have quite a history going back. Now they opened a division that dealt with publishing video games.
Okay.
And they were assisting in publishing games such as Donut County.
Yeah. Oh
Let's
my God! I
see.
forgot about Donut County.
They helped bring Journey over to Windows and iOS.
Yep.
They will be producing games such as, they're bringing over The Unfinished Swan to Microsoft Windows and iOS. They're helping to produce these. However, they have now announced that they will be opening their own development group.
Okay.
As well as still working on publishing such as games as Outer Worlds, Sayonara Wild Hearts, and Florence. Were some of the bigger titles. If you don't know them, look those ones up. They're pretty fun.
I need to play Outer Worlds again. I really enjoyed it. I played it more or less when it came out, and I'm interested to see what's happened since launch.
So once again, another person is getting into the video game development ring, which is only going to increase the amount of software
It's
that
cool.
is out there.
It's promising, yeah.
And increasing the jobs as companies like Activision Blizzard continue to just slam doors on employees and
Yeah.
lock them out of
and
jobs.
it's like that's exciting, and what's exciting is seeing that like these small to mid-time publishers are still active players. Because don't get me wrong, more developers, more games, always good. More publishers, I think, is better for the industry, because like we still see a lot of consolidation.
Yep.
And again, even just last month when we saw ZeniMax getting bought by Xbox, consolidation happens, and I'm thankful that in its wake, we see more of the small ones coming up. I was about to try to metaphor, but it just no, butter, don't do it. But I'm thankful that we're seeing more small ones coming up in its wake, keeping the mid-tier publishing alive. The kind of stuff that will still reach your shelves at Best Buy, and aren't just relegated to, yeah, cool, we pay the developer some little sum and then throw it up on Steam.
I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to see what all of these non-brand exclusive developers that have production behind them, that have experience in the industries, as we've talked about over the last couple of weeks, of other new companies popping up, to see what they're going to use from what they've met in the years and create for us, the gaming community, for the future. So definitely tune in the future. We'll be chatting more about them as they develop and let us know about those things. I had one other short thing, but I was excited to see it.
Okay.
That League of Legends will be releasing a game to the consoles in early 2021.
Do you mean Riot Games is putting something out, or that there's going to be a League of Legends?
There is going to be a League of Legends based
Game.
title
Okay.
on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch, Series X, Series S, Steam, and Epic Games, titled Ruined King: A League of Legends Story, or Ruined
Huh.
King.
Interesting.
I'm very excited to see what it brings. I'm also super excited because LoL is infinitely too complicated for me to want to get into long term, but this will be just like Goldilocks' porridges, just right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that LoL is complicated. It just has a really sharp skill cliff. It's like, oh yes, I understand the basics. I can play this game. Let me go online and see what the skill is like. Ow, that fucking hurt. I missed my own hand. I was gonna do like a clap and upward like that, and I just jammed my own wrist. Ow.
It will.
Ow.
It will be set after the events of Burning Tides,
Okay.
and players will be able to take control of League of Legends characters such as Miss Fortune, Braum, Yasuo, Ahiri, Pike, and can't read that last guy's name, but it looks like Elolai, Elio.
I would ask to take a peek, but frankly, at least 20% of the characters that are out now have come out since I last played. So
It'll be very interesting. I'm super excited to see a return to the League of Legends world because it's well developed, it's well written, and a lot of people aren't aware of it.
they
and it's
did a
gonna be
major
awesome.
lore overhaul 4 or 5 years ago where they just like it was being put together piecemeal. They more or less tore it down and built it back up, finally crafting it. Demon Dragon says if you don't want to play the game, read the lore. It's so good.
Ilawi, thank you very much, Demon Dragon, for the pronunciation of the character.
I think it's called Legends of Runeterra, is a really gorgeous book that you can read that goes through a lot of the backstory and lore of the game. And like cinematics that come out for one thing or another end up telling more stories, and it's cool that there is going to be another League of Legends based or Runeterra setting video game. So excited for that.
Very exciting. Looking forward to all of the games that are going to be coming out in the near future, all of the possibilities for us, and that in the average times, people are getting what they deserve.
I mean, like League of Legends has been doing really well. They just released a new single from KDA, which is the K-pop skins, whatever. So those characters have another set of skins. They're having a physical EP coming out on vinyl. League does a lot of cool stuff.
Yes.
And it always sucked that like its main vehicle was something that, as much as I tried, was too much of a barrier for entry for me. So I'm excited for other ways to get into all that. Dave, we're coming up on the end of the stream. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
I am super excited for what comes for Insane Games and Insane Games TV in the near future. Make sure to punch your ticket with us, as always, joining us here on the Nerd Glasses and many of the other programs by simply hitting that follow button over by Boater and hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. 7 days a week worth of content for just one follow. You're welcome.
I went back and forth as to whether to share this. Dave, I sent you... We get emails from Twitch sometimes saying, hey, here's ways to help grow your channel. And Twitch sent me one a couple nights that said, hey, we have created VoteBot 2020 to help you interact with your viewers and to get out the vote. Which sounds good, but I laughed and cringed simultaneously reading this. Can I read this and then we close out the night?
Yeah.
So to help you inspire your community to make their voice heard, we created VoteBot 2020. Every 12 minutes... VoteBot 2020 will encourage everyone to play their part and vote. VoteBot 2020 throws out classic lines like, they're called elections, not elections. Don't lurk on democracy and play your part by voting on November 3rd. String of binary, that's me making my voice heard, now raise yours. And then free will, do you have it? Prove you're not a robot like me and exercise yours by voting. Oh my god, it was the cringiest shit.
Do you know when that bot was released, by the way?
I
wish I tried looking it up when you posted it yesterday.
literally I got the email on November 1st.
Okay. Gross. November 3rd is when New York State closes its elections, so, you know, and gross.
Yeah. Just, it's very, very cringy. And with that, I almost like didn't want to share it, but it's like, no. Very clearly, anyone in chat, in our audience here doesn't need to be told at this point. We've told you on our own, in our own words. We're sharing that because sometimes shit be cringe, yo. Speaking of cringe, I've got a stream program happening right after nerd classes called The Citadel, where we're playing Mad Max. And I don't know why I said speaking of cringe. It should be pretty fun.
Always a good time on the Citadel. You should tune in as well as I do.
So I hope to see you folks there. Of course, when we are done here with nerd classes, the channel will go offline for 120 seconds as we switch everything over. Grab a drink, go to the bathroom, refresh your browser, and we'll have that countdown going. That about it, Dave?
Thank you so much to everyone for joining us, as always, and for all of you that participated in chat. We really, really appreciate you guys, and we love you all. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you. Bye!